Dr. Matt Symons from Palm Beach Health Center, and today we're talking about ADHD. When you have a kid who has ADHD, it can feel kind of frustrating. You're not sure what to do. Oftentimes they have a hard time focusing in school, which can affect their grades, and it kind of makes you feel like, well, what do I do? They're not paying attention, and I want my child to be successful, and yet I'm concerned about putting them on medications. Oftentimes the medications when it comes to ADD or ADHD are things like Ritalin or Adderall, which are Schedule II methamphetamine. So of course, I'm sure there's concerns about that. But it makes you think, why is my kid's brain, overactive? And the reality is, if you look at the chemistry that they use to treat the symptoms, it's actually not an overactive brain. In fact, it's an underactive brain. That's why they use stimulants to make that child feel normal. So what happens in an ADHD brain is the brain is not getting enough stimulus. So the child feels like they need more visual, more auditory, more kinesthetic, running around, getting that stimulus to the brain to make it feel normal. And there's a couple of reasons why that could be. One is there could be a misalignment of the spine that's causing pressure on the nerves and interfering with the normal amount of bombardment or stimulus that the brain gets from the proprioceptors or mechanoreceptors from movement. So it's important to get that child checked out chiropractically. Another could be up inside the brain itself where it's not operating properly, where there's some kind of dysfunction there. That's why we use the brain core neurofeedback in our office to do a brain mapping to see if the brain is flipping back and forth between all of the states of alpha to beta to theta to delta waves and back and forth, that the brain is malleable or adaptable to whatever the situation is. So we can do those tests. The third would be if there's a dietary restriction. Oftentimes, if there's bad fats in the diet or things that interfere with neurological information, things like a lot of omega-6s or artificial flavorings, they can interfere with the actual stimulus of the brain. So it's important to do a dietary profile as well. So with these three things, the physical, the chemical, or the emotional stress that's happening, it can easily cause symptoms of ADD or ADHD. So rather than using the medical model to treat the symptoms, find the cause of the problem, fix the cause of the problem, and your child will grow up healthy. Remember, the brain grows for up to the first 25 or more years of life. So it's important not to cause any kind of chemical damage to that brain during the development phase. All right, so I hope you've learned a few things to keep your child healthy. If you know someone who has a child with ADD or ADHD, please make sure you share this video with them and make sure you're following us for future videos and information. I hope you learned something. Have a wonderful day.